Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Happy Sunday everyone. So this video I'm going to talk about how to practically detect SQL injection vulnerabilities on a website, right? So in the previous video I had just given a detailed explanation about what exactly is a SQL injection vulnerability and how the technique the technique used by attacker to exploit this SQL injection vulnerability on a website. I demonstrated everything in a more detailed sense in my previous video that was more theoretical as well. So in this video I'm going to talk about how to detect the vulnerability on a website, okay, in a more practical sense. All right, so let's quickly get started, guys. So in order to do that, I'm just going to use Burp Suite software, right? I'm going to use the community edition to show you how to detect the vulnerability. And I'm going to use a website called I'm going to use a website called OneWeb to detect the vulnerability. Basically, OneWeb is an intentionally vulnerable website, and though it's a vulnerable website, it does not mean it is actually a harmful website. You cannot visit like that. So it is basically a benign website. Okay, it is supposedly to be used for learning purposes. All right, and particularly if you're looking to learn cybersecurity stuffs. Okay, both offensive and defensive skills. All right, this particular website will come in handy for you. All right, and so let's quickly get started, guys, with the practical demo of this video. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to open. I'd already launched my root terminal. Just I have to type Burp Suite to open my community edition. All right, of Burp Suite software. Right. So I've already made a playlist in the name of Burp Suite, in which I have explained. I've given a basic tutorial about all the functionalities within a Burp Suite, and I had explained a couple of tabs, particularly intruder and repeater, in a more detailed sense with live examples. Okay, and in this video I'm going to use intruder tab again, okay, which is going to be pivotal for me to detect and find SQL injection vulnerability on a live website. Basically I'm going to use intentionally vulnerable website in the form of oneweb.php.com. All right, so let's quickly get started, guys. Firstly I will open up enable my burps inbuilt browser. All right, by going into settings, burps browser, and then checking this first option, allow burps browser to run without a sandbox. All right, and that's it, guys. I'm just going to close this window here. I'm just going to go to target, sorry, go to proxy. And firstly, what I'm going to do is just open up the inbuilt browser for you. And here, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to visit the website. All right. So firstly, what you need to do is you need to have a payload, guys. Okay. In the previous video, if you remember, I talked about a payload that is the SQL command or SQL query that the attacker will be using under the username page over here. Okay, as well as he will also use the same in under the password field to bypass the authentication, basically. All right, so here we need to get that list of payloads. Okay, so for that what you need to do is I have a search term to get you the list of the payloads to bypass the authentication page. So here what you need to do is get into the second link over here. You'll see these are the payloads, guys. Okay, I did mention all these payloads, okay, by giving you example of what this does, because for example, if you take this one, or space 1 is equal to 1, which should normally return true, okay, on the database. So this particular payload will run a database query, okay, using the select statement, which I had explained you in my previous video, how exactly it runs the select command from the user table to fetch a particular username or user ID, okay, and then get in the result. Okay, so here in this particular case, we'll use the entire list of payloads here that could possibly be run as a brute forcing attack. Okay, and after which what will happen is each payload, the intruder functionality within the burp suite will try, okay, by running a sniper attack. Okay, after whichever payload is appropriate, it will confirm whether the website is indeed susceptible to SQL injection or not. Okay, firstly, few things we can do manually here. Firstly, on a website, if we suspect that there is a possible SQL injection, all you need to do is you just need to tamper the URL. All right, for example, here it is login.php. What I can do is I can put a quote here, okay, single quote maybe, and just if I hit enter, all right, currently it is responding in this way, which is it does not give me any sort of concrete evidence whether this website is vulnerable to SQL injection or not. But if I put a question mark here, and then if I put a quote, single quote here, and try hitting enter, let's see if I get something here. All right, still I'm not getting anything here. Maybe I'll try one more thing here. Maybe I'll use double quote and hit enter and see if I'm getting anything. No, I'm not getting anything. Maybe I will do something here. Further modification I will do. I will take. I will remove the login parameter and I will type something here, arttests.php, and then what I will do is I will insert a question mark after the PHP, all right? And then what I will do is I will just try to type artist is equal to 1, all right? And let's probably check what I get here. Probably it will ask me to log in back again. Yeah, you can see here I've got this result here. And here what I'm going to do is probably let's add a single quote here and see if it returns anything. Yes, there you go, guys. So as soon as I did that, I modified the values. Okay, after the parameter here, the question mark. Okay, I actually tinkered the parameter. So as I did that, guys, you can see here I received a message related to SQL. All right. So any message related to SQL, if it gets displayed on a web page, then you can actually come to a conclusion that the website could possibly be infected to SQL injection. All right. So this is a very simple method to check if that is a manual method, I will say, to check whether a website is indeed um, I mean, could possibly be infected to SQL injection attack or not, right? So, and there are a lot of other ways also, okay, which I would not cover just now because it will elongate the video, okay. So this one simple method you can conclude that the website is indeed infected with SQL injection vulnerability. All right. So let's quickly get started, guys. So here I would be confident that I could do some SQL injection stuffs here on this web page. All right. By after I have seen this error related to SQL. All right. So which means I can do something here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to go to the login page, right? And furthermore, what I'm going to do is first let's go to the Burp Suite application. Here, what I'm going to do is, uh, if you've already worked in on this web page, you will already see this message here, right? Please use the username test and the password test to log in. So basically, on other web applications, right, web applications that you may want to pen test, you won't know the username and password. Like in case I'm telling, I'm just putting myself on the shoes of an attacker, okay, attacker's mind. So if attacker wants to exploit this web application, let's say, and this is belonging to some XYZ organization, okay, and obviously that attacker would not have information related to username and the password, okay, or the login. He would not have the login info basically, okay. So let's imagine let's just forget that the login credentials is test. I mean username is test and password is test. Let's imagine that I don't know. I'm not sure about both the username and the password. So I just want to log in. How am I going to do that? And I know the website is susceptible to SQL injection attacks. So basically, what I can do is, with the help of the SQL injection technique, I can bypass the authentication, though I am not aware of the username and the password. All right, how am I going to do that, guys? I'm just going to simply insert a payload under the username and password field, okay, or even just put the payload or insert the payload within the username and enter a random password, okay, and then I would be able to log in successfully to this application or this web application despite me not knowing the username and password. So let's quickly get started, guys. All I'm let's say, for example, I'm just putting admin as username, admin as password. All right, let me quickly show you what I'm going to do now. I'm just going to turn the feature, and I will just click on login. So as I do that, guys, you can see the backend web page response request has been successfully logged here. Okay, you can see the username that I've inputted is admin, and password I've inputted is admin again. Okay, but if you see the response, right? What? Let me quickly forward it to repeater first to show you what the response I would normally get. I would get the response 302 not found. Okay. Basically, it means that I did not get what I supposedly should get. All right. Hence, I'm seeing. You can see here the page rendering. The page rendered is you must log in. All right. So how am I going to tamper these values here? All right. First, so before we get into that, we would just want to get the list of payloads here. I have a search term. If you remember, yesterday I had already made that video, right, on how to use those payloads. Firstly, so yeah, I've already given you the search term, and you just have to copy this to a notepad file, which I have done. Okay, I've saved the payload in my desktop here, which I've already done here. You can see this is my payload list, guys. I have copied all these SQL injection payloads, okay, that could be used, okay, under the username or password field, right? Currently, I'm just going to use it under the username field, right, basically. And for that, I'm just going to go to the Burp Suite application. And here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just send this request to intruder tab. Okay, here what I'm going to do now is, let's say, like I said before, currently we are in an imagination that I am not aware of the username and password basically. Okay, so I will not be entering the username and password, and even without me putting the valid username and password, I would be able to log into that web portal, all right, as in the as in this portal over here. All right, so how am I going to do that, guys? So what I'm going to do now is here I'm just going to highlight, and before that I would just like I had showed you something here, right? Just a second. Here I had showed you how to detect the website if it is vulnerable to SQL injection or not by just changing the values um, under the URL, right? I just added I just put something here, right? Let me recall it again for you. I just use this URL, and after which, after the parameter value artist equal to one, I just added a single quote, and I received a MySQL error, right? Similarly, how would you do it in a? I mean, that is more of a graphical view. However, if you want to do it in Burp Suite, how are you going to do that? It's very simple, guys. I'll just go back to repeater tab. Here, what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to in the uname field, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a single quote here. Okay, so that I've just tampered the username field, guys. And as soon as I do that, if I send the request, you will see this error has appeared. This is another way of doing it. Okay, basically you can do this test on the website itself, or if you want to do it in the Burp Suite, you just have to. You can do this simple thing here. If you're not sure of the username and you're just guessing the username could be admin, all right. So in that username, what you can do is you can add a single quote or double quote and just send the request from repeater, and in the response, if you see here, if you are getting this my SQL error, which obviously means that this particular field, username field, is indeed susceptible to SQL injection attacks. Okay, so this is the very best way to confirm that this website is susceptible to my SQL injection vulnerabilities, basically. All right, so we can use this uname field here to inject payloads into this uname and bypass the authentication. All right, so firstly, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to highlight this uname value. Okay, and then sorry, and firstly I need to go to intruder, guys, intruder tab. Here, what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to highlight the admin. All right, admin value, and I'm just going to click on add here. Okay, so this is the position, right, where we are going to use the payload against this position and then exploit the vulnerability. Okay, basically the SQL injection vulnerability. Here, what I'm going to do next is next go to payloads, and I will just use the payload sets as a simple list or a text file, basically. And here I'm going to, under payload settings, I'm going to click on load, and I'm just going to include or insert the payload file that I've created. All right, and that's loaded, guys. These are the payloads, guys. So around there are 45 plus, sorry, you can see here payload count, around 46 payloads are there within my text file. So these are the most commonly used, as well as these are the most efficient payloads, okay, if you're trying to exploit SQL injection vulnerabilities on a website. All right, and I'm going to click on start attack, guys. All right, you can just ignore this message, and you can see, guys, the attack has launched. And if you see here, I had actually done the sniper attack, guys. I just used the sniper attack, basically. That is to target a single payload position, basically. All right, and I'll just go back to the attack page. That's the entire attack completed, guys. All right, and if you see here, all these 302 values have are nothing but the bad status. However, 200, there are a couple of payloads which have successfully been exploited, guys. Meaning we have received 200 code response, 200 OK response, basically. All right, if you see, this is the payload actually that actually worked, guys. All right, if you see the response, right, you will see here the response. We have received OK, and if we go to render, it has successfully logged on, guys. Okay, meaning, and also if you see here, guys, within this payload, it has also given me the username and what do you call it? Let's go to pretty. Just a second. I'm just going to search for test. Let's go to another one. Raw. Yeah, if you go to response and if you view the raw data, you can see here there has been a quickie that has given us the uname and password, which is the nothing but the login credentials. All right. So we here, using this payload technique, we have also found the username as well as the password to log into the website, which is again a very good breakthrough. Okay. Firstly, we found that this particular web application test PHP is indeed vulnerable to SQL injection attacks. Okay, and then we had no idea about the username and password. Using the payload we created, okay, we launched an attack, okay, against this web application, which is benign application. And then what we did was we had bypassed the authentication. And firstly, let me show you how it looks, how it actually works. All right, I will just open this payload page. or the attack page. I will just copy this payload here. Let me show you how it works, guys. If I copy this to a notepad, or just go to the browser back, and what I will do is, firstly, let me stop the intercept page, turn the intercept off, and I'll go to the browser, guys, and I'll just simply put the payload that actually worked or was efficiently exploited by Burp Suite. And here I will just type admin, guys, okay? And if I just do a login, I will be successfully able to log in, even without putting the exact username and password. Though I knew the username and password, but in real case of an attacker doing it, imagine using this technique, he would be successfully able to log into that web application using the simple payload. Okay, just inserted the payload here, which was successfully exploited by Burp Suite, and then I just entered a random password and I did a login. Once again, I'm doing it in front of you. I'm successfully able to bypass the authentication page without me knowing the exact username and password. So this is how it's done, guys. It's very dangerous. At the same time, it's very good if you're trying to learn all these cybersecurity stuffs. Okay, because it first it gives you the knowledge to protect your organization against these bad actors in the form of attackers or hackers. All right, and see, guys, this is how you actually do it. And then what else I was talking, guys? Yeah. So using this payload technique, SQL injection technique, we also did find the exact username and password here. That is test and test. All right. And also, what I just wanted to tell you another thing was, you can see the rendering as well, page rendering. And apart from that, just a moment, I forgot something to tell you. Yes, guys, what I also want to tell you was here in this particular attack that we did on this benign application. In some applications, right? In some applications, if you open this attack page, so if I go to response here, the raw, I saw this login credentials, right? However, in case of some applications, right, you may get the username. You would be able to successfully bypass the authentication page. However, if you want to find the username and password, you would be able to just see the uname, basically. All right, that is the username alone you would be able to capture. However, the password will be in unreadable format, as in it would be hashed and spit to you. All right. So in that case, what will happen is basically there will be something called authentication token. Okay, you will be given that authentication token. However, it will be in a random alphanumeric test kind of thing. All right. In that case, what you need to do is take that authentication token first. All right. And after which, what you need to do is you need to find whether what kind of hashing algorithms have been used to hash that password. For that, there are a lot of tools. Okay, which you can use within the maybe within your Kali Linux, there are a lot of tools, okay, to check what kind of hashing algorithm is used on that password, as in using that authentication token, um, where it will be in alphanumerical characters. You can copy that and just try to find what kind of hash has been used. After, let's say, if it was hashed under MD5 algorithm, after which, again, you take that value and then unhash it using, let's say, there is a famous tool called crack station. Yeah, you can open this link here. You can put that hash value over here, okay, and then you just prove that you're not a robo, and then just click on crack hashes. And after it is cracked, you will get the actual password. So certainly there are possibilities of that too. Here we just received in a very simple manner. We found the login information. That is the test and test. Okay. However, in other cases, you may just get the username, but however, the password could be given to you in a hash format. So in that case, it becomes a little more challenging task to unhash the password. However, and also you can also do one thing, that is can use the decoder as well, okay, to probably decode that authentication token. Okay, firstly you will find what kind of algorithm is used. If it is MD5, you will just paste the authentication token over here, and then what you can do is you can decode as probably base 64, and then you can use the plain text. All right, you will get the decoded value over here. Okay, after which you will be able to pick that hashed password, and then later on what you can do is you can convert the hashed password to a readable format using this online tool that I showed you, crack station. All right, you just copy that decoded value of the authentication token, put in here, and then just unhash it using this crack station software. I currently don't have a use case just now. I will probably, I think there is another application called Choose Shop that is provided by OWASP. Okay, I can maybe use that. I will maybe make another video of this same topic, and I will show you how to decode the authentication token. Okay, and then pick the hashed value. Okay, and then unhash the value um, to know the password, exact password. Okay, though we are knowing that username. Okay, we just had to I mean find we just had to find the password alone. All right. So that's how we had to do that, guys. And if you found this video, apologies if I dragged this video a little bit. Okay. We'll meet in the next video with more useful technical content like this, guys. Regards to cybersecurity. Thank you. Until we meet in the next video. See you. Stay safe. Cheers. Tada. Bye.